I got coffee going. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Now, my initial thoughts on this Anthem. It's not a beta, but it's a oh, what do you? It's a mess because they let me download it on the PlayStation, but whenever I went to play the demo for the game, it was saying something like it would cut me off and then not let me play, and then said that somebody had to invite me, like a friend had to invite me to play the game, and then I wasn't bothering to read what it said, and then like the third time around, whenever I was loading again, I'm like, God, I have to read this shit. So I was reading this whole paragraph about how I was explaining the reasons why it wasn't letting me play the game, and it was very disappointing, especially whenever the people who had played the demo were saying that the mechanics of the gameplay were fine. Shooting and the graphics and, you know, the open world type of feel to it. But the other aspects of the game were there was a lot of messed up things about it, and I'm not initially impressed. It led me over to a PlayStation store where it wanted you to pre-order the game for $79.99. Now, to me, a game is not worth paying that much money for if it's not even a finished product. Like, if it's not a finished game, and if people that are playing it are saying those things, I'm not impressed, and I don't see why you would charge almost $80 to pre-order something that you have no idea if it's any good or not. All I get from the initial feeling about seeing the game is that it looks nice, and it looks like a Destiny type of thing to me. Like, gameplay wise, it looks like a lot like Destiny, and it has like the enemies where they sponge up like bullets, you know, shooter type of thing, which I guess that doesn't bother me as long as the gameplay's fun and there's a story. It would help if there's like options to where you're having your dialogue and you can make like hundreds. You should be putting in like hundreds of options of dialogue if you're wanting to make games, you know, more impressive. I'm not very impressed or very odd at a game if I'm talking to or listening to conversations where their mouths are moving, but their bodies are moving like they're having a conversation, but their mouths are moving. You know, that makes no sense. This just seems like lazy game design. Now, it's like one of the YouTubers I watched, Yao Ying, I think that's his name. He said that maybe they'll fix this stuff before it comes out, but I don't see myself pre-ordering this game. From what I can tell, is not a very good sign, and I would not tell other people to pre-order this game if they're not going to put in some work to fix it, put in story, dialogue, you know, things that would draw me in as the person who is paying to play your game. I have no investment in your game if I'm not seeing any kind of story, any kind of dialogue, no dialogue options. You know, it's just, you want me to play this repetitive crap. I mean, if I wanted to play repetitive crap, I would play Fortnite, and Fortnite sucks. You know, they're for kids. There's a reason why kids play it, and young adults, is because they're, you know, they're not hard to impress and to keep their mind focused on, ooh, I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna come in here and snap you. I'm gonna come in here, snap you, kill you, and bragging rights, and I'm gonna teabag you after I'm dead. I guess if you're very simple-minded in that sense, and that's all you want to do is shit talk over the internet, that's fine. I'm not against anybody doing that, but I mean, there is an audience for gamers that want more in their game or out of their game. If you could do that in a game, you can make money from people who want to play a good game. People don't want to play a game. Not everybody wants to play the same stupid games. Like, they come out with a new sports game like NFL Madden and shit like that. There's people who just don't clearly give a crap about those titles or genres. There's people who have their own type of taste in what they want out of a video game. This is just disappointing. I mean, I see these. This is why I'm more skeptical about video games too, because I see games that look very promising, and then most of the time they turn out to be dog shit. I don't know. We'll see. Whenever it comes out in 2 or 3 weeks, whatever it was, I think 3 weeks from now, I'm going to watch the review, and I'm going to base if I do or don't buy that game on what I see in people's reviews. There's a lot of people who rate these games and movies not very harshly. Like, if something's bad, it's below 50%. To me, it's below 50%. If you can't rate something below 50%, then you're not rating it as bad. Like, Angry Joe, he'll go through one out of 10, and he'll give something like a 4, 5, 6, 7. But if something's bad, you should be giving it like a 1 to 3. You should be rating it between 1 to 3. If you're rating it 4, 5, 6, around there, that's about average. If you're rating it higher than that, then you're giving it a good score, 7, 8, 9, 10. You're giving it a decent to good score. Percent-wise, you should be on the very low scale of things if something is shit. That's just how you should be scaling it. Now, I'll talk about Aquaman. I enjoyed Aquaman. My expectations were very low for Aquaman. I thought it was going to be cheesy and just really bad. But initially, whenever I watched the movie, it was what I would assume an Aquaman movie should be like. It was not a bad movie. It wasn't something that didn't keep my interest. It entertained me for the time being while I was watching it. I thought it was going to be a lot worse than what it was. It's definitely one of the best DC movies out of the new DC movies. I'm not talking about out of all of them all together. It's definitely not better than the previous Batman films. Not to get confused with this Batman. I'm talking about the Batman in the previous 3 movies with Bane and the Joker and Ra's al Ghul. Those 3 movies. But yeah, this Aquaman movie was definitely a lot better than I thought it would be.
Okay, go to your room.
And with that, I'll end this. It's a Sunday. Have the rest of a good Sunday, and I will talk to y'all later.